What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for all you rascals and rapscallions out there. Now, today we have a movie review. This movie, I am shocked that I've never heard of before. At least I don't remember it as a kid scrolling through the horror section, but we're going to review it today. Better now than never, because that's what we do on this channel. We talk horror. And today, we're going to talk about 1994's Brainscan, directed by John Flynn, starring Edward Furlong of Terminator 2 Judgment Day fame. And let me just say, I'm very surprised with this movie. It was in my cart for a minute on multiple sites, and I just didn't know. I thought it might be a little cheesy, it might be a little outdated, which it's outdated and cheesy, but that's kind of what gives this movie its charm. So let me get right into the plot. Edward Furlong has lost his mother. They show this in the opening titles. When he was younger, she dies in a car accident, and it leaves his leg partially paralyzed, so he's kind of disabled and everything, a little bit. And whatever that means. But he lives with his dad, who's always gone on business, so he's kind of just like this kid that's kind of lonely in this big-ass house, and he's got this badass room upstairs. It's only second to Arnold from Hey Arnold. Like, he's got the hookup up there. Got his own kitchen in there, surround sound speakers. He even has like Alexa before it's Alexa. He's got like his crypt keeper Igor on like the computer. Igor, do this, do this. So, I mean, he's got it pretty good in that sense, but it seems like it's all kind of a cover up to like how he feels. He's kind of a loner. This kid is really into horror. He's really into video games. He reads Fangoria magazine. He's an outcast. They have a horror club at school, all types of stuff. But doesn't have many friends. His one friend gets a hold of him one day and he says, "Look in the back of Fangoria magazine. They have this ad for this new game called Brainscan, and it's apparently like the craziest game. So scary." So he ends up ordering it, and there's a party going on next door with the girl he likes and everything, and you could tell he kind of wants to get over there and mingle with the other kids, but he always falls back on these video games as like a crutch, for lack of better words, you know. So rather than going over to the party, he throws on this game Brainscan, and it's like a virtual reality game. And the narrator in this game, Trickster, which I'll get more on later, is telling him, you know, you ready for the most horrifying experience, to be stretched out to the deepest points of your fears? And he's saying, you know, yeah, I played them all. What are you going to show me that's different? So when he starts playing this game, he almost goes into this like dream trance where he's going to his principal's house, and you have this trickster guy narrating it the whole time, like, go through the gate, go up the stairs, grab a knife, kind of like getting him to kill. He kills the principal, and I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I kind of got to explain this for it to make sense. He kills his principal. He wakes up the next morning like, oh my God, this was like the craziest game. I can't believe it. And he's, you know, being a 16-year-old kid, all hyped. He opens up his freezer, finds his principal's foot, severed foot. And then he freaks out, obviously. And then this is kind of where the story goes. He's got to try to figure out the difference between fiction and nonfiction. What's real and what's not real. And though he resists to play this game, he has to keep getting the second disc, the third disc, the fourth disc to kind of try to save certain people or cover up his tracks and all types of stuff. And you can see where I had reservations, even though I'm like a total throwback kind of guy. I love the 70s, 80s, 90s, but I thought maybe this might not age as well, but it did it for me. This movie was fucking awesome. I'm just going to say I'm surprised I haven't seen this before. Now let's just get into the things I like. I love Edward Furlong in this movie. This might be one of my favorite Edward Furlong movies now, besides Terminator 2 and maybe American History X. He did a really good job. It set the vibe. It reminded you how kids were in the 90s and everything. And though this movie wasn't very gory, it was satisfying. Like, the pacing was really good. It was fun. It was overall just a very fun movie. A little funny. And it had a little bit of suspense. It was corny, but that's what we expect in certain movies like this. It didn't drag. That's one of the biggest things for me. I hate a horror movie that drags in the second or third act. But anyways, what I didn't like, it's kind of a love-hate situation. This guy in the cover, Trickster, you could so tell they were trying to come up with like the next horror icon, and it just doesn't really hit. I've heard mixed opinions. Certain people like him, certain people don't. His look is just, it looks cool. I just don't really care for it, and I felt he was trying a little too hard with the humor, though I love the trickster at certain parts of kind of like keeping the pacing going, if that makes sense. Didn't care for his love interest. It was kind of weird and awkward a little bit, but that's kind of by design, I feel like, in a movie like this. But yeah, other than that, I just didn't really care for the love interest angle so much. The trickster was a little corny to me, and not as much gore as I would prefer. But yeah, I loved Edward Furlong in this. He seemed like genuine. You know, it just seemed like how friends hang out and everything. And scene by scene, this didn't really drag. And I normally don't like a crime mixed into my crime drama mixed into my horror movies. But in this one, I actually liked how every step he had to go get the next disc and try to fix what he did wrong the last time. And I don't know, it gets kind of cool. I it's hard to say like what really made this stand out to me so much. It's just atmospheric in a way. I really like the vibe of the neighborhood and the school. It just seemed relatable in a lot of ways. Not just because I'm a big horror fan or an outcast or anything. Hey, yeah, but just it flowed good. It was natural. It was fun. Not a lot of gore, but I mean there was gore in this movie. Don't get me wrong. A couple fun twists and turns. I will say, not to spoil it, the ending is a little corny. I don't hate it. I guess I was just vibing this movie so much. I was like wanting a little more in the ending. But I mean, it wraps itself up pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys might not like this because it's from '94, so there's a lot of really outdated stuff like the CD-ROMs and just like the technology they have. But like I said, I think it adds to his charm, and I'm surprised this isn't talked about more. Edward Furlong in this movie. I mean, there wasn't really a bad performance in this movie. I think the love interest, she came off a little bland, but it kind of wraps itself up in the end. But yeah, Brainscan, wanna play? I dare you. Yeah, I actually really like this movie. I'm not really giving rankings anymore. I'm just gonna tell you if I think you should buy it or not, and I think you should. This is a pretty cheap movie, and I'm pretty sure you can find this on a streaming site, whether it's Prime or Shudder might have this one. Other than that, yeah, I highly suggest checking this out. Look how creepy that is on the back, sucking his head right into his mouth. That's what she said. Yeah, this movie was dope, especially because I thought it was going to be corny. I can't tell you how many movies I put on and like think this is going to be sweet, and it sucks. Nothing sucks more than blind buying horror films and just having it drag ass, which this one didn't. That might be like the peak of the movie for me, the pacing. It just never got boring. It was just a fun ride from beginning to end, unlike that roller coaster or that ride in Traverse City, Michigan, where I'm from. Not Traverse City, but yeah, let me know if you guys have seen this movie before and what do you think about it. I thought it kicked ass. I mean, is it perfect? Is it a Dawn of the Dead? Is it a Return of the Living Dead? The Thing? No, not at all. But this is a far cry, very far from the garbage of Microwave Massacre. This movie kicked ass. I highly suggest checking it out. This is a fun one you could throw on with some friends. Just have a good time. Especially if you like nostalgia, 80s, 90s shit. This one rocked. Other than that, Blood Guts Gore. I'll check you guys next time.